Arsenal in for Mason Mount and Ilkay Gündogan this summer, as well as their main priority of Declan Rice. The season is coming to an end, but the transfer window is beginning to heat up. We're also going to take a look at the pursuit of Mohammed Kudus, a player that set the world alight in the early stages of the Champions League. He had a brilliant World Cup as well. Man United, Newcastle, Arsenal, all chasing him for his signature this summer. Make sure like buttons are hit. You can still enter our raffle, by the way. 2 tickets plus £250, British pound sterling for you on the day as well to enjoy the FA Cup final. Show me another fan channel that's doing that. You won't find them anywhere. Hit the like and the share button. It's the Done Deal Show, people. You know what? Let's just do it. Back to the football terrace. Good morning, one and all. David Ornstein has revealed today that Arsenal are trying to sign the Man City captain Ilkay Gündogan. Arteta wants the 32-year-old to replace Granit Xhaka if he leaves, and we know that's about 95% done. This is also amid fresh attempts of City trying to keep him. City don't want him to leave. City want him to stay. Arsenal are additionally pushing hard for Rice, which we know about. Personal terms, according to other mainstream media outlets, have been agreed. Ornstein hasn't confirmed that, but he says Arsenal are pushing hard. Plus, they want Mason Mount. Mason Mount, who I think really divides opinion at Chelsea. But we're going to delve into these right now, and I want your views. I want your opinions. I need them in the comment section now. And I want you to break down your opinions for me today. I want to know what you think about the prospect of Ilkay Gündogan, and what you feel as an Arsenal fan or a rival about the idea of Mason Mount joining this Arsenal team. Will he improve them, or do they go backwards? Or maybe just stand still? I want to get your opinions on that. Your views matter more than mine. But on Ilkay Gündogan, 32 years of age, turns 33 next year. I think somewhere in the region of 100 goals and assists for Man City. Umpteen. No, I don't even know how many Premier Leagues this guy's won there. Is it 4 or 5? On for a treble, done a domestic treble, maybe lifting that Champions League trophy. German superstar. I can understand completely and utterly why Arsenal would want him. It makes perfect sense. They're speaking about this for years. It's great having a youth project. It's great having really good up-and-coming players that can move the needle for your team. This is important. Totally understand it. However, and there is a big however here, you need to add in an age profile and experience to also get you over the line. Jesus and Zinchenko coming in were not quite enough. Partey hasn't really got that experience of winning titles. His Wikipedia page tells you he's won La Liga, but he played 2 games that season and left to join Arsenal. He didn't really participate in that. Ilkay Gündogan is a player that has been there, done it, and worn the T-shirt. He has the experience. He has age on his side, both internationally, domestically, knows what to do. So this is a signing that I completely get why Arsenal are looking at him. I just don't know if he leaves Man City. Say he says, no, City, I've had a great time here. I've had a wonderful time, over 300 games, but I want to move on. I just don't know if he stays in England. I get Arsenal trying to get him. I think it's David Ornstein, so I believe the story. Arsenal trying to sign him. I just get the feeling that at 32, 33 years of age, as he'll be next season, Ilkay Gündogan is more likely, in my opinion, to go, right, thank you, City. You've been amazing. We've achieved everything. I want to go back to Germany. I want to chance my arm in Spain or Italy, somewhere else. Does he join a direct competitor, a direct rival in Arsenal straight after leaving City? He might do. Arsenal might sell him this idea, sell him this plan, and make him believe, you know what? I really fancy a year or 2 or 3 under Mikel Arteta. Maybe trying to win the Premier League with another team. Maybe going that, enhancing my status in the game even higher by going to a team that hasn't won a title in 19 years and being a real catalyst in taking them from a very good level they're at now to an amazing level. There is that possibility. I'm just not convinced of it right now. My mind may very much change over the course of the summer, but it's an interesting one. Then you have the Mason Mount scenario. The Mason Mount scenarios are a real interesting one because I think it shows Arsenal looking at three midfielders, doesn't it? There's the Caicedo talks, and there's still a lot of interest in him. They're looking at Gündogan. They're looking at Mason Mount. They're looking, aren't they? Easily two, possibly three midfielders coming in. Mason Mount, listen, he's not as good as Ilkay Gündogan. It will never be as good as Ilkay Gündogan now or at his peak ever. It won't happen. I think that, but I do think Mason Mount would be a good signing for Arsenal. Mason Mount's one of these players where I almost feel I don't think he's ever going to be world class. I don't think he's ever going to be top 10 players in the Premier League. But I do have a feeling that he can be important for a side if he's got the right manager and the right system around him, if he gets his belief back. It's all about belief. He's also a workhorse. And the system that Mikel Arteta has relies on work rate. The price is going to be key. I've seen 60, 70 millions quoted. I don't think Arsenal will pay that for Mason Mount. But if they can get a good deal because he refuses to sign a new contract, I think he could be a good asset. Mount, Rice, Gündogan in the summer. Is that good enough to take Arsenal to the next level? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on that. Now, David Ornstein also speaks about Arsenal, Man United, and Newcastle are amongst the clubs that are tracking the attacking midfielder, Mohammed Kudus. Now, we know how good a season he's had. We know he's had a great, 18 goals in all competitions, 6 or 7 assists as well. Very good. I mean, Ajax weren't good in the Champions League, but he was. Ajax haven't been a very good team this year, but he has for large parts. And there's a tremendous amount of talent in this young 22-year-old Ghanaian player. During the World Cup, being out there was a buzz about this lad, and everybody was talking about him. And I think because Ajax fell out of the Champions League, no one watches the Eredivisie. Not in the UK. And my audience is predominantly in the UK and America. And the buzz has kind of died down because I don't think people in America and the UK are watching the Eredivisie on a week in, week out basis. So there's almost like a buzz has kind of dropped down. About 80% of our viewers come from those two nations. So maybe that's why I'm not seeing a lot of it on my timelines and in our comment sections. But that doesn't take away from how good a football player this young man is. Can play attacking midfield, can play right wing, can play centre forward. Arsenal, United, Newcastle. Makes absolute sense that these three clubs are the clubs that are eyeing him up. These are the clubs that want to bring him in. Newcastle will need more firepower, especially with going into the Champions League. Arsenal, they need more goals. And I do believe they need competition for Bukayo Saka. And competition, if you like, for Gabriel Jesus. And you throw a player like Mohamed Kudus in. Now, he's more of the younger age range rather than a 26, 27-year-old established striker or attacking midfield player. But I think, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Man United, of course, again, Anthony's had an okay start to life in England, but he needs to raise his levels massively. The likes of Anthony Martial and Jadon Sancho and Donny van der Beek, who play in the attacking midfield role that he does, these guys just are not good enough for Manchester United, and we need to look to go to another level. So I understand completely and utterly why all these clubs are linked with him. Now, they've offered, what's happened is that Mohamed Kudus has been offered a contract extension. He's got 2 years remaining on his deal. He's been offered an extension, which he has refused. Typically, at this moment, what Ajax do when a player refuses with 2 years remaining is they look to sell, because otherwise, over the next 2 years, his market value decreases and they don't get as much money in. And part of their business model, because there isn't as much funds being pumped into the Eredivisie as there are the other big leagues in Europe, their business model is to sell generally at the maximum price possible to reinvest into the team and the squad to keep Ajax very competitive in the Netherlands, and of course keep their heads above water in terms of European football as well. So there's a big possibility he moves this summer. Where he goes to now, there is nothing advanced with any one individual club. My gut feeling right now says Newcastle. And the reason that I say that is because of Saka and because of Anthony. And I think both Mikel Arteta and Eric Ten Hag, respectively, are going to guarantee that right-hand side of attack to those two players. There's also Odegaard and Bruno that play in the attacking midfield roles, and I do believe that that position is completely taken up there. Is he an out-and-out centre forward? Is he the number 9 that Man United need? I don't think so. Jesus is going to be the main guy for Arsenal next year, in my opinion. So where is the space for him? Where I feel like when you look at Newcastle, yes, they bought Anthony Gordon. Yes, they've got Almiron. Yes, they've got some Maximum. But I don't think any of those individuals are actually good enough to take Newcastle to the next level. I think they're good players to have in your team and within your squad. But Mohammed Kudus, I think, can really improve them massively. Now, by the way, I think he can improve both Arsenal and Man United. But I just feel that the managers have got their guys and want to give their guys that another year. And I think Mohammed Kudus will pick a team that says, actually, we want to make you the main guy. So I've got this little sneaky feeling this could be a Newcastle player. Now, I'd love him at Manchester United as a United fan, but I want to be fair and I want to be open and I want to be balanced about what I think. However, listen, I want to get your views and opinions on these breaking news stories this morning. Leave us your comments below. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Very, very key indeed. Also, enter the raffle. You've got 4 days until the draw. You only got 4 days to enter now. Been open for a month. You don't want to miss your opportunity of going to this historic FA Cup final. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.